Okay, so this is gonna be kind of a long rant on the XH1. There was a video I saw. I'm gonna talk about three videos, but there was a video I saw about obsolete. I'll get back to the word, but I want to talk about this for a second. So I took all these pictures you're about to see with the XH1. I don't have the XH2S. It was a friend of mine's XH2S. But I want you to look here in a second. I put the focus right on the letter, and it focused on his thumb. And that might have been a little bit of error by me, but if you look right here, it's on his thumb. It's not on the letter, and I wanted it to be on the letter. I'm like kind of circling the area. That's where I wanted it to be, but it focused on his thumb. And so something I found out about the XH1, and I don't know this blank one right here. This must be a corrupted file. This white must be a corrupted file because I took like 7 or 8 shots back to back to back to back right here while they were hugging. So I don't know what I missed there. But anyway, so the XH1 I use not for fast-paced things. I don't use it mainly. I use a lot of manual focus. I have a 16 mil. That's what I'm shooting with. All these right here is a 16 mil, 1.4. I think it's at like 2.8, 3, or I mean 4 maybe, just depending. But all these detail shots, I put this on a tripod. I light up the area. I put a 2-second timer on there, and I take the shot. That's basically how I do this, right? I just put it on a tripod, boom. Sometimes I'll have the IBIS on there because the tripod's really light and it shakes a little bit. So I'll have the IBIS turned on sometimes. But all these shots are shot with a 16 mil on a tripod. You're gonna see a couple like this. This one on the right. This one's shot handheld. This one on the left is shot on a tripod. So it's a great camera. XH1's an amazing camera when there's plenty of light. ISO's like 100, maybe 500. The IBIS does great when you're at 1/60th of a second, 1/30th of a second. It does really good in bright light. Now, as the night goes on, I get tired. I'm shaking a little bit more, so I can't go below 1/60th of a second. The shots come out great. I love the way they look. You can see here, I'm about to start testing out the flash. So I always take the ambient of the room, and then I start adding flash to it. Right? I'm just taking ambient, trying to raise the ISO a little bit, go through it. Okay, these next shots are on a time lapse. So I put the focus right on the groom. It's in focus 100% here. You're gonna see here in a little bit that it loses focus, and I lost all these shots. I don't know what I did. I put it on. I didn't have it on the 16 mil. I had it on another shot, but this is all time lapse here. So I'm gonna kind of stop for a second, and I'm gonna jump the video. Okay, so it jumps a little bit. I'm using the XH with handheld, and I put it on a tripod right here. I'm right next to it. I'm not joking. I'm standing right here. There's actually I can't remember who they are. They're like the coordinator. And I told the coordinator, hey, I have to step away to get shots of the bride. So that's me walking by. I'm getting ready to get shots of the bride and the bridal party coming down there. So this is the first time you're ever going to see me. You're never going to see me beyond this point. So I told him, hey, stand right next to the tripod. I made sure it was in focus. And now that I'm looking back at the pictures, he must have moved it because I put this on a time lapse. And so it's not going to focus again. It's on manual focus. I focused it. So he must have just nudged it a little bit or something because now the focus is in the background. And I was so mad. Like you can see me here just trying to figure out where the focus is. I'm just like, oh my God, all these pictures are blurry. Now, look at that. They're all blurry. Every single one of these at the time, it was like 300 photos, 100 photos, just because I was getting one shot. I was trying to get one thing. And every single one of these shots are blurry. They're not in focus. They're very noisy. It was dark there, guys. I'm not joking. My ISO was like maybe 6400. I don't ever go above 6400 on XH1 or the XT3. That's where I sit. 6400 is the max because it just looks all yucky and just nasty. And so it goes back to obsolete. Oh, man, I cannot say the word. Obsolescence? No. Hang on. I'm just going to say obsolete. Okay, I'm just going to say obsolete. And I was watching a video about the Model T, and they said, hey, are you ever going to design a different car? And the guy Ford goes, yeah, you can buy it in black. That's your options. You can buy it in black. You can have any color you want, but it has to be black. And so they designed these cameras to last a long time. Fuji did. But now they're coming out with all these great things, and they're forcing us in our heads to think, oh my God, I need the newest thing. You can see the focus. It's over here in the back on that stupid. I don't know why. I must have clicked a button. The guy must have hit the tripod. I don't know. So mad about these. I wanted these shots. I wanted them to be in focus. None of them were in focus. So anyway, I I just get mad because we're baited into buying these newer things that we need. And photographers were shooting with DSLRs that had like 5 auto focus points, and now we have to have the entire screen. And now you don't hear anybody talking about, oh my God, there's the entire screen's in focus now. It's sensor to sensor size. You know, they're not talking about that no more. Like how that's a big deal. They're not talking about how they what is it called? The interval timers. You know, they're not talking about that no more because all the cameras have pretty much interval timers. What's the other things they're not talking about? Dual car slots. They're not saying anything about that because all the cameras have dual car slots now. And that is where I go into the XH2S and the XH2. I feel, and I'm not 100% sure because I don't buy expensive SD cards, but I feel like the CF Express are super expensive. I saw them, and Black Friday came along, and that's the only time you ever see them on sale. And I don't trust Amazon. I don't shop with Amazon anymore because I bought a card from them a long time ago that I thought was a good deal, and it said 128 gigs, but really it was like a 32 gig. Somebody did something. It was some kind of scam. Something happened, and so I don't buy stuff from Amazon anymore. I go to the store, I go get them, but sometimes I see them at $230, $240, and then having a 40 megapixel camera, you're going to chew up so much memory cards, and you're going to have so much storage, and I'm just like, I don't want all that. I don't like that. I put a lot of stuff on cloud that I like to keep, and I just delete everything else. And after like 2 or 3 years, if I don't use the wedding photo again, I don't really ever use the couple again. I usually just use all the detail shots. I delete all that stuff too. And these SD cards or these SSD cards or these SSD hard drives, they're only good for so many writes also, you know. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on having to get the higher megapixel XT5 or the XH2. I think that's the one that's the higher megapixel. And so with that being said, I really think that I'm gonna probably, if the insurance does what they do, I think I'm gonna end up having to do an XT3 again, or maybe an XT4 because it's got a smaller megapixel set. I kind of like the XH2S, but it goes back to that memory card, that CF Express. I just don't know. I don't. And then I have to go buy a reader for it, and I'm like, ugh, just another expense. And eventually I'm going to have to update the computer because the computers are running slow. They're not able to take a lot of these memory cards anymore. So I like the XH1. I think it's really great for detail shots. Like you see right here, like I'm just kind of going through these detail shots. These are sitting on a tripod right next to me. I'm just 2-second timer, click, 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 boom, right? And it really works. Really works out great. I'm going to talk about this scene right here. I could not get focus. I was holding onto the camera on a tripod, and I was trying to focus where it says Miss. I think that's where the little sign that has her name. I could not get focus. I literally put it on there, and so I had to manually focus, tap the screen, and the XH1 was not picking up. I see where this scene right here, there's a lot of light. The other ones, it's super, super dark. They were not catching any of the photos. I just couldn't do it. And so I had to start using flash. That's where this is right here. You see, you can kind of see it. There's a little bit of flash. It's low right there is flash, right? I had to use flash on this, and that's the only way I was gonna get these shots. The ISO I think was 1600, somewhere around there, and so I had to use flash on these. I could not get these shots without flash. They just were all grainy. The autofocus wasn't working. I'm gonna show you right here in a second. The autofocus messed up. Right there. It's not in sharp. Like, it's the same shot. Like, I clicked and then clicked, and then autofocus was out of focus. There's another one coming up right here. right here. Same exact thing. Same shot, didn't move. I did not move. They moved a little bit to the left. It was out of focus. The XH1 is just not good. And I do the vertical, and the zone focus disappears when I do vertical shots. It's just, I don't understand. So, but I know this has been a long video, and I'm pretty sure most people have left. But it's just kind of like a little rant of mine to kind of go through. I don't know what else to say. I can't rely on the XH1 like I want to. And the A7 III is really good. I like the autofocus on there. But it's just so expensive to buy another one of those, and it's so much cheaper to buy an XT3 or XT4. Even the XT5 is much cheaper than Sony. So we'll see what the insurance says in a couple. I'm hoping they call me in the next couple of days from Fuji. Let me know what's going on with it. But I think that's about it. You have a great day, great night. I'll see you on the other side.